It's Scott on Security. I'm Scott Beck, co-star of the Amazon Prime documentary Cybercrime, and two-time best-selling author and CEO at BeckTech, where we deal with cybersecurity and IT support for small and medium businesses. And I wanted to say a big thank you to many of the people that have been commenting and sending me messages, sending me questions. Thanks to Hannah. I'm going to paraphrase what Hannah said, but she said, "Scott, are you okay?" Last week, you may have noticed my eyes were a little bit squinty in a video, and here's the little truth and confession time. Normally, I have to wear glasses or contacts, and last week, see here? This is why I don't normally wear my glasses, because it looks funny. But last week, I was lazy, didn't put my contacts in, and said, I'll just take them off and do the video. But it turned out my eyes got a little bit squinty, so now you got a little bit of tell of whether I'm wearing my contacts or whether I've got the old geeky glasses on. So thanks, Hannah, for being concerned. That was the story. Now you're on a little bit of a secret. Another question I got asked was, of course, January 14th was end of life day for Windows 7. And there was some questions and concerns around what does that really mean with Windows 7 having gone end of life? Well, it means it's pretty old, first off. In the operating system world, things change so quickly. I remember an analogy that one of my instructors gave to me back when I was a young Padawan in computer school, which was if aviation had moved as quickly as the IT world does, the Wright brothers would have flown on Monday, and we would have landed on the moon by Saturday. Things move that quick. And when I was younger, and I'm always trying to stay ahead, because back when I was gaming, you'd spend a lot of money on these video cards. And I was always trying to have the best and have the better, and trying to. And quickly, probably not quickly enough, but quickly I learned you just can't stay ahead. When you buy technology, it's going to be outdated fairly quickly. There's a reason why you can't usually get warranty on stuff past 3 years, because the hardware is not made anymore. Well, the issue with the software is something similar. Things change. Things move so quickly. So did all those Windows 7 computers that are still out there, and according to the statistics, at least 25% of computers in the business world are still running Windows 7. The scary part is 4% are still running Windows XP, and that expired years ago. And we've got a couple of clients that are still running some XP, but in a very specific situation. They're running what's called CNC machines, these multi-million-dollar cutters. And there is a way that you can take that Windows XP and that software, and some people don't want to spend millions of dollars to replace this expensive CNC machine. I get it. I own a business too, I run a business. But you take it, and without getting too specific, you isolate that device, so all it can do is talk to the CNC machine, and it can't go on the internet, and you just basically take all the risks away from it. Well, with Windows 7, something similar is going to happen. What you may not realize is that every month, or maybe you do, but every month Microsoft puts out alerts and says, hey, here's the patches of the flaws that were discovered, and we've patched them. Here's a fix for it. Get it installed on the computers. All right, well, part of the problem is a lot of people aren't doing the patching or making sure their software is up to date, which is how viruses will spread. WannaCry, when it came out, was the fastest spreading virus we'd ever seen up until this point. I mean, it hit hundreds of thousands of computers across 150 nations in 4 hours. This thing just spread faster than Australian wildfire. I mean, it was just crazy how quickly this thing went. So what's the point of this, Scott? Well, now Microsoft releases and says, hey, here's a flaw, but they're not releasing any fixes for Windows 7 anymore. What does this mean? Well, if I'm a hacker, hey, this is a known vulnerability. Thank you, Microsoft, for pointing. Here's the threat, here's the threat, here's the threat. They're going to be attacking that. They're going to be going after that on purpose, knowing that there's not going to be a patch to it. Scott, I've heard that you can buy support from Microsoft, so they will update and put it on. Okay, yeah, it's true. On certain versions of Windows 7, you can purchase from Microsoft an extended, I don't want to call it warranty, but an extended service plan where they will release updates for Windows 7. I got to ask the question, though, if you got a Windows 10 machine or you upgrade to Windows 10 and all the updates come for free, there has to be a really good reason why you'd want to spend money to get that same kind of updates. And will all the software stop? Well, clearly, we're past January 14th, so if you're still running Windows 7, it hasn't stopped. But as we continue to move forward, you're going to find other software will stop supporting Windows 7 because Microsoft isn't supporting it. What am I talking about? I remember when Windows XP went end of life, within 6-7 months, Sage, a big accounting package that a lot of companies use, stopped supporting or stopped writing stuff that would work on XP. And they said, hey, look, it might work on XP. You can put it on XP, but if you run into a problem, we're not dealing with it because it's not supported. Google Chrome, many different web browsers, after a while, will not install or update or work on unsupported operating systems. So eventually, you're going to end up with a dinosaur. I ended up going on a service call one time. It was back when I was still doing home computers, so it was a couple years ago. But I got there, and they were saying, geez, they couldn't get on certain banking sites, and they couldn't do this, they couldn't do that. Well, they were running Windows 95. It was not 95. I mean, it was long past that. We're talking the early, it was probably 2010, 2011, but they were still running Windows 95. Yeah, the computer will turn on. Yeah, you could take it on the internet. No, the stuff isn't compatible for today's day and age and being able to communicate with others. Things just keep moving on. So, long story short, why should you be worrying about your Windows 7 machines? Well, not going to be secure, and the bad guys know it. And Microsoft, all they have to do is watch for when these warning alerts come out, and they'll know exactly how to attack you and what vulnerabilities to try to take advantage of. And over the next several months, more and more software is not going to work on it, and you're eventually going to become obsolete and be like those Windows 95 people going, but it won't work. No, it won't work because it doesn't have the same languages. It doesn't have the same compatibility. So it's going to go away. So if you haven't done it yet, time to really start thinking. On a personal level, I had someone reach out and say, well, Scott, I got a 10-year-old computer. Should I upgrade it? Probably not. It's not going to be able to handle today's software. It's just the processing power, the memory is not going to be there. Time to look for a new computer. If you're a business, well, you got to start taking a look at the impact. Is there a specific need why you need Windows 7? Are you running some line of business application that only works with Windows 7? If you do, you might want to take a look at that geofencing, that same thing I talked about with Windows XP, and kind of putting a fence around that computer so it's not on the internet, it's not a risk, but it can still do what it needs to do. And if that's not a consideration, get off Windows 7. Get to Windows 10. Move up. Not only is Windows 10 more secure in its design, and yeah, I know the navigation windows are a little bit different, but you still have a start button. You can still find your apps, and you'll learn. And there is no bigger pain for IT professionals that we've been trained for years and years and years. Go here, click that, it'll do this, and then things change. And I call it the programmers in the ivory tower. But it is what it is, and we get used to it. And I'll tell you, I've been using Windows 10 for quite a while now, and it's stable, it's good, it's more secure, and I'm really enjoying it. So thank you, Hannah, for your concern about my eyes, and are you okay? And hopefully I just addressed the questions around end of life of Windows 7 for you.